Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to the Cuptalk show. I am your host, Adira Rachel, and today I am so glad to have some very formidable women who were here earlier, and sure enough, they were able to share their views. But today, for the new viewers, let them reintroduce themselves, then we can be able to get on to today's topic. I'll start with this wonderful lady over here. Yes, please.
I'm Madinah Ismail. I'm a counseling psychologist.
Thank you so much for coming back to the show. We are so grateful to have you here.
My pleasure.
Yes, please.
My name is Jamilah and I'm a counseling psychologist. Glad to be here again.
Thank you. We are so privileged that you guys have been able to honor our invitation once more, and hopefully the viewers out there are going to be able to learn and from your views that you're going to share. So today's topic is quite interesting. This is due to the fact that recently on the news there was a trending topic, especially for those who are on X, the X app. There was an incident between a teacher and a student. And as counselors and as psychologists who are professionals in this field, it is quite a very touchy-feely topic. So let us begin with, since I'm sure the viewers already know the facts of the case, what leads to such incidences happening? Counselor, please.
Can you please take me back? What are we really talking about? You didn't phrase it very well.
So recently in the news, there was an incident that happened between a teacher and a student in regards to relations. And not proper relations.
Okay.
The unhealthy kind of relations.
Romantic relationships.
Yes.
Let us be straight on this. Okay.
Yes. So what leads to such romantic relations happening between teachers and students, and yet ordinarily teachers are meant to have a fiduciary relationship towards the students?
Okay. First and foremost, let me call it like it is normal for a teacher or any other person. Let's not, okay, we're looking at teachers, but a teacher is also a person.
Yes.
So it is normal to catch feelings of the opposite person. So let's look at this in a bigger picture, like in a bigger perspective. He is a teacher, this one is a student, but he is also a person. He's a human being like the way you are.
Okay.
The way you can have normal feelings towards another person.
Yes.
It is also normal for this teacher to experience the same feelings towards a particular student. But the question is, what are the risks and consequences that come out of that relationship?
Yes.
And how do we go against this? Because when a teacher goes into a facility, for example, or an institution, there are some ethics and conducts that guide that particular institution.
Yes.
So if he goes into a contract with that particular school, he has signed and agreed not to break those. Yes, he's into contract with a school, and each school or each institution has its own ethics and conducts that guide that particular institution. So he is a person, he is normal. It is normal to go through that, the catching of the feelings. But my thing is, let us look at the risks and consequences that come out of that particular relationship.
Yes.
How does it affect the student and the school or the institution at large?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I like the fact that you have acknowledged that, yes, he's a person. Yes, it is normal to have such feelings. But the question is, the risks.
Exactly.
Now, could you lead the discussion towards the risks that could occur?
Yeah, I'm going to open.
To have a say on
Please do.
Yeah. Just like that, there are normal feelings, that someone can go through. It's the same way the student might have feelings for the teacher. Because like we talked about the youth and the adolescents and what many physical things are going through their bodies, getting to explore their feelings and what we expose ourselves to.
Yes.
Yeah. So relationships have come in and maybe they are being attracted to this person, but they don't know why.
Yeah.
So just the way they happen to the teacher is the same way that it can happen to the student. But you as a person, what are your values, just the way Councillor Madinah has talked about the ethics, and then what can you do about it? Because as a teacher, on someone else you're a parent.
Yes.
On someone else maybe you are a figure, you are, what would I say, like you're a role model to someone. So what do you feed your mind that these feelings have come in? Are you going to think about them and see what would go about them, or give in to them?
Yes.
Yeah. So when these feelings develop, the way you attend to them will lead to the results that will come out of that relationship, whether it will be healthy or unhealthy. So you mentioned the cause. The cause is this person gives into feeds it and gives into the unhealthy bit now. That it is normal, I've gone through this feeling, I feel this for this child, but you as an adult, you know this is not supposed to happen. So how are you dealing with it so that it does not transpire to the unhealthy parts?
True.
Yeah.
So you've mentioned one of the causes is feeding the unhealthy urge, right? So what causes that unhealthy urge in the first
like
place?
I've told you, we are normal human beings, just the way people will look at each other and feel an attraction. And then, like we said again about maybe the adolescents or something, what are they watching, what is beauty to them, what would a relationship entail. Maybe they are having this, because you can find that this teacher is maybe coaching a child, and then because of this time they have together every time, they get interested in this child, that look at the way this child thinks, that like feelings just grow. Because of the way they have been interacting. You know how you can just fall in love with someone, not that it was even on set, but because you've interacted them for a long time, it starts becoming unhealthy. So how do you deal with it when it is turning to be unhealthy? Yeah. Okay,
so what you've just said has led to a couple of questions rising in my head. So I'm going to switch to Councillor here. Councillor Madinah. You mentioned something that was very important, and it's very intriguing. Yes, he's a person, he had urges and feelings. Yes. Now, we don't want to pinpoint, and remember, it's not about blame game. But do you think maybe one way or another either party might have facilitated to that occurrence happening?
I will still take you out. I will tell you, I'll be real to you. Sexual attraction, when people are growing up, it is bound to happen. It may not happen on a teacher or even someone else. For example, it may happen to, for example, there's a person who cleans, I don't know, the school dormitory, probably he's a male figure, and someone is attracted to them. The sexual attraction, where we are, the environment that we are in, is bound to happen, especially if the children are growing up. So I will call it that if it bounds to happen on a teacher, the topic that we are on, teacher and student relationship, what binds them? What binds them is what I'm really looking at this topic, because they know that, okay, we have feelings. I may catch a feeling on anyone. For example, right now, I can go on a gathering, then I find someone that I really like, I'd be attracted to them. But the question is, I'm in a school, it's an institution. Why do I have to catch feelings for a particular teacher? Why don't I go for someone else? So if all these students, they are aware of the rules and the regulations, what the school holds, and again, they go ahead and break all the school's rules and regulations, the ethics and the conducts, me, I will still go, I will still call it the way it is. That is a criminal offense. That's a criminal offense. Because by the time you go into a contract with this particular school and you have signed, because let's look at the risks and the consequences of this particular relationship. A lot of relationships have dramas. And if a child is involved with a teacher, and in case a relationship goes sour, any drama around that relationship, it will also affect the entire, like, friend groups, the school itself. You know what this happened, this teacher and this student, they broke it off. It will be like a lot of drama. Let's also look at the way it will affect even their grades, the teachers themselves. there's a way, like if a teacher is revengeful and this relationship is now finished, if a teacher himself, or because it is bound to happen, and he feels those revengeful thing, it was like I need to do a revenge towards this particular student.
Yes.
He can even make the student to fail because of that particular relationship. So that's why I was saying, let's look at the consequences and the risks, because these people are particularly aware what the school entails.
Yes.
The school does not accept this. It is very clear because of the consequences, but they go ahead and break these schools, and they go ahead and they break the ethics and the conducts.
Yes.
But let's look at the person who is an adult in this particular relationship, and that is the teacher.
Yes.
Because his sole responsibility is to guide the student. And if he has failed to guide the student, what happens next?
Clearly there will be bad consequences.
Yes, what happens next? So exactly, that's what I'm saying. Let's look at what are the risks and the consequences, and what can we do? The authority, the teachers, the parents, I think that should be our main thing.
Yes. Thank you so much for that. And I like the fact that Councillor Madinah, you've mentioned that he's an adult of sound mind, above 18.
Exactly.
And ordinarily, he's the one who has a duty of care towards this student. Why would he in turn breach it just to satisfy his selfish urges? I think you made a very valid point. Thank you so much for that. So, Councillor, would you like to add something? Because this is such a sensitive topic, and I feel like this is just one occurrence out of the so many that have been happening under wraps, and luckily enough this has been able to come out. So what would you like to add?
Being that at least I've been exposed to points where students were complaining that male teachers would start conning the students, and then there would be students in my year in low level, you would hear like conversations of classmates even, who would try to make sure they are trying to be attractive to the teachers, because those scenarios are also there. What I would say would be that the thing is, if we recognize that it happens, but how do we go about it?
Exactly.
Yes.
For example, if a child is guided right,
Okay.
because I had scenarios of where a student would say the teacher made whatever on me, like a move on me, but then I was scared to say no, because I did not know if when I say no, what will happen. So they're intimidated. And there are scenarios where a friend, when I was doing my needs assessment, where the students said the teachers that are doing it do it on an intentional basis of the vulnerable ones, who would be like, maybe at home they are not doing so well, so it will be easy for the teacher to say, I'll do this. So at first and foremost, the teacher is crossing his boundaries, the ethics and conduct as a teacher, like you said, that even like the Councillor Madinah said that your ethics as a teacher, you're not supposed like to make moves on your students, because you're the adult. So I would think, why don't we empower the girls, maybe, if it is the girls, because even for boys it happens.
It happens.
Whereby the moves are from the female teachers or the guys themselves. They look at these student teachers who have just finished campus and bullied. I've had a lot of senior 5 and senior 6. They make moves on the student teachers. Those things happen. But teaching ourselves, like empowering the child themselves to know who they are. We're talking about self-identity. What would you want to see happening for you? If such a thing happens, what would you do? So if we take them that lane and we create awareness that actually if it happens to you as an individual, it is okay to say no to this teacher because it is your right. Then also a teacher, if you're coaching this student and you're developing feelings for this student, explore yourself. What are the leading things that are making you end up in that point? Because there's a possibility of you quitting coaching this student and recommending that student to another person.
Yes.
It can also happen because it is human. You might end up falling for this child because in that stage they're a child. So if you fall into this, then that means you're crossing your boundaries, then you're putting your career at stake as a teacher. So it's about empowerment and also letting the teacher to not give in to their feelings and urges.
So that is, you mentioned something in regards to sometimes it can be the students themselves hitting on the teachers. So let's try to play devil's advocate. In the occurrence that a student, let us use that particular case, that the student was actually leading the teacher on, what would have been the right thing? What defenses would we use for the teacher?
The teacher is the adult.
No, I am telling you, like right now in a lot of schools, I've been to, I don't know, I'll not mention schools.
Yes.
Right now, it is so funny that the teachers that are there, that are recruited in those schools, actually so young. They are young teachers. Back in the days when we used to be at school, you would see only old teachers.
Yes.
But now a young teacher comes in, a very handsome young teacher comes in, and you have a crush on that particular teacher.
Yes.
And be like, you know what, if, oh my God, I
pray,
I pray he notices me. So you actually put yourself there for the teacher to notice you. So because you know how we are exposed with the environment, the teachers are young, so the feelings that come in are actually so normal that you can actually go back at home and be like, you know what, there's a cool teacher right there. But so you'll be like bound to this teacher all the time that he comes in. You'll be like, okay, is he looking at me or not? So you know all those things. But again, you as a person, what are your values? We need to empower the children, the students, to rethink their values. What they stand for. How are these relationships going to affect us? Let them look at the bigger picture now and what is coming after.
And also what we can equip also the teachers with, because you see how it was happening at maybe at the universities. I will not say this particular university, whereby the students would throw themselves to the lecturers, and lecturers started being conscious, because yes, the student-lecturer relationship would be there, maybe on a personal level, and maybe others would get married or something. That is different. But there would be scenarios where the students themselves are creating scenarios so that they can put lecturers in trouble. Intentionally. So you as a teacher, this student is throwing themselves on you and maybe making passes and such moves. But what are your values? Should you go on that this student led me? What are your values? What is your role as a teacher? And if it is coming in, because again, at the end of the day, it brings embarrassment. You wouldn't want to live in such circles. So you as a teacher, are you able to face it?
Are you able to control yourself?
To control yourself.
Self-control is important.
So if you're able to maybe even reach out to this student, because sometimes it's even embarrassing if maybe you go to the admin and then what, this student is making advances. What about talking to that particular, because you're the adult here. So I think it goes back to the values, the beliefs, and also knowing that it can happen. Because also that is important. But when it happens, what am I supposed to do? What can I do if this happens? I feel like I am having like a crush on a teacher. How do I go about it? I
also want to add on something. A reality. Okay. We are sometimes probably that a teacher, an example, a teacher might like this particular student. He has seen them coming way from down, from S1 up to Form 6. He has been around them. He has got these feelings, like, okay, I'll call them pure intentions towards this particular girl. For example, or probably they are not married, but he has seen this girl growing up. He has guided this girl all through. Let's put all factors constant. I would actually tell these teachers, do it in the right manner. Wait for this child to get out of school, probably support them to thrive, be better, then actually after, for example, after graduation, you can actually take them on, but in the rightful steps.
In the right way.
Not breaking rules in the institution, not starting relationships in schools. Because if you normalize that, even other students, even other teachers will take on the same. So let's not normalize that, okay, we have feelings, yes, but we have ethics and conducts that guide us.
Yes.
And if you come into contract with that, you are purely insane and you know what you are doing.
And you're bound.
Yes,
Yeah,
actually
we
you are
can't just
jeopardizing
give in
the
to our
entire
feelings,
jeopardizing the institutions.
And then also, God gave us reasoning. Yeah, we cannot just be like chicken. Like when you see this one, you go for this, so you just give in into your feelings.
I
So
know,
that
right?
is why, if you are an adult, and you have more reason to, more than the student, then that's when reasoning has to come in. So that you just don't give in into your whims and what's then.
I also want to share something. I was recently invited, I think like 2 years ago, on a wedding. And when they actually, when they asked them that how did you meet? Actually, the other one was a teacher and this one was a student. Let's not go into that, but just know right now they have 2 beautiful children and they are technically married.
I think let us did it the right way.
Let us do it in the right way.
Yes.
You can actually wait for this girl to thrive, guide her, then later on probably propose in a rightful manner, but not inside the school.
Yes. Clearly, those are the wrong premises. I think also have to put into consideration that, yes, there are instances where there are some teachers in a school somewhere and they know, you know how you've reached this level of, I yield authority. When I say this, you will do it. And because you know that the students are inferior, they are prey, they are intimidated. There's some people who actually intentionally prey on those little
students,
kids.
yes.
And
That
I
is very
think
true.
that needs to be addressed.
That's when I told you that it's about building the child and their values and beliefs.
Sure.
And also if they have relationships with the people around them, for example, if they're at school, it's okay to talk to someone, maybe a counselor, because some schools now they have counselors on board, or they can talk to anyone that they feel safe with, that this is what is happening. For example, for that student who is scared to say no to the teacher. Okay, so if they have also relationships with their parents, it's also something that they can share with their parents. Many students who have those relationships with their parents, they say it and they will change them.
Yes.
Though in one way or another, you've not solved the problem.
Yes.
Yeah, because if this student goes away, then another one might fall prey.
Sure.
So that is why we need to empower the children so that they don't go through that. They can be able to say no, especially if they do not want to be part of it. But also if it is them going into like crashes, you know, I've told you this because I've interacted with one school counselor, and one time I asked him, what was the most difficult part for you as a school counselor when you were beginning? And he was like, when I was beginning, there was this student, P7, and she came to me, yes, because these are body things that go, she felt attracted to the teacher. So because she was in that stage of confusion, she felt like, what is going on with me? I feel a different way for this particular teacher. What can I do, you know? And because she was able to pick up herself and know that I'm going through something that I don't understand, but let me talk to the counselor. And she was guided right. Through they talked to her and also were able to even interact with the teacher so that they don't leave tension into this relationship. Yeah, but it wasn't seen as weird. You know those things, and
then they victimize.
And then they victimize, and then people are scared to come out.
Yes.
So, but if one knows that, okay, I think I'm having feelings for a teacher, but okay, there is someone I can talk to that is safe, who will not judge me for what I'm going through, but they will guide me. And even if it's the teacher, it's the same thing. Or even knowing that these are my ethics, I cannot do this, these are my values, you know, and then one can deal with it so that it does not exceed where it is not supposed to go.
I think that is a a healthy way of dealing with such a situation.
Also, I want to add on something.
Yes, please.
I will also advocate for the schools to embrace counseling, even for the teachers themselves.
Yes.
Let us normalize counseling for the teachers. You might be able to bring in a counselor for the students, but what are you doing for the teachers?
For the teachers.
Let us involve the teachers themselves. Let us involve them. Let us be able, let the schools embrace counseling even for the teachers. Call the counselors in, take in the teachers for the sessions, and let the teachers be reminded or show them the impact of whatever the relationship can come out.
Yes.
And let them be aware. Let them be actually probably educated.
Yes.
Yeah, educated of the
Psychoeducation.
yeah. Let them be educated about the risks and the consequences.
Yes.
About their self-control.
Yes.
Yeah. So sometimes we put the emphasis too much on the students, leaving out the teachers.
The teachers, yes.
And
Because
they
we
have-
expect
Yeah,
them
also
to be
transitioning.
knowing what they are doing.
Exactly.
And they're human.
And yes, and they're humans. We expect them that they are the figures that are supposed to protect or guide the children, because as the parents we entrust our children to them. But actually, some of them, they actually don't know what they are doing.
True.
So let us not like be there thinking that okay, now the teachers know it,
adults.
they are the adults.
Yes.
Actually,
They're supposed to do
some
right.
of them, they don't know what they are doing
Yes.
because they're actually humans. So
Okay.
let's embrace counseling in schools, even for the teachers, even for the staff.
Okay. So thank you. I am sure someone who's out there has been able to learn, because there has been so much knowledge that has been poured out here. Now, as we are getting to the last moments of the show, could you each share those last remarks, something that you know is going to be able to touch maybe a student, a parent, a school, a teacher out there who might be going through this, but it's under wraps? I'll start with Counselor.
I'll just add on
Yes.
on what I said, that it's okay sometimes to go through these things, especially if they are emotions, and acknowledging them and accepting that this is what I'm going through is the first step to dealing with it.
Yes.
You know, but whenever you keep on denying them and you deprive them, there's a way you will move around them, and you'll end up in the unhealthy decisions.
Yes.
Yeah, but if we accept, especially for the young child, they will be like, I feel something whenever I see this teacher. I've had a student in my session say that whenever I see this teacher around me, or a coach, actually, you know, these coaches
Yes,
that come to
by
school,
the way.
badminton, sijui what,
Basketball.
what. Then whenever that coach comes around,
Yes.
I get butterflies. You know, they have those bullets, yeah?
Yes.
So, but you know, when she came into the session, and she kept on, but she was even fearful to talk about it.
Yes.
And I just welcomed her. Whatever you're going through is normal. Like this is what goes through, especially new ages and all that. But
Yes.
what do you think? Is that what you need? And then even if after school, what are your dreams? So we started exploring and other things.
Yes.
How can we avoid you? Or how can we avoid you being in such a space and feeling that way? What activities can you do? When you're playing itself, do you be feeling those butterflies?
Yes.
So we get distractions and other coping mechanisms so that it does not lead. But if we avoid talking about it,
It expands.
and then we condemn it. How can you feel such a thing for that person?
It is
That
bad.
that is bad. Those are bad manners. You know,
Yes.
the truth is, you know, they are not bad manners. They are just sensations going on in our bodies and all that.
Yes.
But how do we cope around them? How do we deal with them? And how do we maintain our values and beliefs? Yeah, and how do we embark on empowering this child
Yes.
to say no, especially in places where they fear.
Yes.
Yeah, to fail. Yeah, maybe talk to mommy.
Yes.
Hey, you can talk to your parents that I don't feel comfortable in this space.
Yes.
You know, so that's all I can say about it.
Thank you so much, Counselor,
You're
for sharing.
welcome.
Yes. Would like to hear your views, your concluding views, Counselor Madinah.
I think she has said it all, but I would say students going through this is so normal, and it shows that they are really, really growing up.
Yeah.
They're a healthy child.
They are, yeah, they are healthy, and we should actually congratulate them on doing that.
Going through those things.
Through those emotions. Because if a child does not go through that, probably now you need to question, is my girl normal? Is my girl normal?
Or is my
Because
boy normal?
it may not be a teacher, it may be also a fellow student, that I have a crush on a fellow student.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
let's embrace that that is normal. That is the first thing. But the thing is, how do we deal with them?
Yes.
And also let the teachers be cautious.
Yes.
Because they are adults. They know what binds their profession.
Yes.
That is not professionalism. When they break them, when they break the ethics, even as the counselors, we are guided by some ethics and conducts. That if we break them, then we cease to be professional counselors.
Yes.
So it also goes back to the teachers,
To the teachers.
or even the doctors, or any profession. You know your ethics and conducts. You know them very well. Before even coming into this profession, you know them. So revisit them.
Yes.
Like learn, have self-control,
Then seek guidance.
Sure.
then seek guidance.
Beautiful. I feel like I've learned so much from this session. This is also going to help me in my own relationships and the
That's
different
nice to hear.
PIs.
Yeah, that's nice.
So that has been it from us at Cuptalk. We are so grateful for each of you who has been able to view, interact with us. In case you have questions that are unanswered, kindly reach out to any of our social media platforms. We shall be waiting for your feedback. I remain Adira Rachel Peace. Have a beautiful day. Goodbye.
Thank you.